So let's imagine just for a minute that everyone in this room represents the world's human population. Well, for 1 out of every 4 of you, let's say this quarter over here, just to get a little investment here, I have some really bad news. You're infected with one of the deadliest bacteria on the planet, Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Tuberculosis is responsible for over 1 billion deaths throughout human history. And if that wasn't bad enough, it's been a top 10 cause of death for centuries and still is on that list today. And if that isn't bad enough, antibiotic resistance to this infection is on the rise. With rising antibiotic resistance, we're losing our ability to successfully treat this disease. But the big question is, how do we find better treatments? Well, as you may imagine, living inside a human body, you have a lot of stress to deal with. You have to deal with the immune system, you have to deal with antibiotics, things of that nature. Luckily, for tuberculosis, they've been co-evolving with us for thousands of years. And part of the first focus of my research is trying to identify some of these cellular defenses. These are genetically encoded defense programs that these cells have evolved in order to withstand both the immune system and antibiotics. And you can kind of think of these like bacterial firewalls or antivirus programs. These allow the cell to sense a danger and survive. And now overcoming thousands of years of evolution might sound daunting, but what if I told you it's possible to hack these cellular defenses? That's the second focus of my research, identifying which cellular defenses to hack and how to hack them in order to improve the power of our antibiotics. So I'm going to share with you 2 strategies that my research has uncovered so far. Strategy number 1, take down the bacterial antivirus software. So just like a computer with no antivirus software is vulnerable to hacking, a bacteria with no antibiotic defense is vulnerable to our drugs. And so my research has identified a particular bacterial defense that when we take it down, we can improve the power of our antibiotic by 1,000 times. Makes it 1,000 times more effective. I was able to identify exactly which metabolic pathway to tweak in order to bring the entire defense system down. Strategy number 2, phishing scams. So for this, we actually use an antibiotic or a drug, kind of like a phishing email, to get the bacteria to respond in a way that we want. Once that bacteria responds, it actually makes itself vulnerable to a second antibiotic. After treating with that second antibiotic, the bacteria gets hit while it's weak, amplifying the effects of that antibiotic and quickly kills it. So using these strategies, we hope to be able to short-circuit cellular defenses and hopefully bring an end to this terrible disease. Thank you.